Now this video is going to be showing you something that was encountered in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Monday, 23 October 2023. This is at one of the protests that was going on in support of Hamas and death to the Jews situation. For the most part, compared to previous incidences that we've seen with the leftist groups that were involved in this was actually peaceful. They did attack vehicles and that type of stuff, but at least they weren't setting them on fire and shooting at them currently. Kaz had posted something about this over on his Telegram channel. That's how I found out about it. And people were adding in there or leaving comments that, hey, we should be aware of this tactic, either to copy it or be aware of it in the future on how it could be used against us in an even worse situation. Now, this roadway here was three lanes of traffic going in both directions. Over here you had a standard crossroad of, it looked like 1 or 2 lanes going each direction this way. Stoplight up here, and there's another intersection down here. Now, I will upload 2 videos on this, but they will be unlisted, but the links to them will be in the description so that you can click on that and watch them. They are not my videos, they are someone's from TikTok, and it really looks like these videos were made by one of the leftists that was involved in this situation, because what he was trying to do is dox the, I'll just call him victim in this situation, so that people will attack him because he's an older white guy and he got away from their rage before they could do whatever to him. So we have another intersection down here. This guy was able to get through the little roadblock down here, and he was trying to continue on his way. As he got closer, that's when he just went from a bad situation to a worse situation. The next intersection, they completely blocked it off with vehicles going across, and there was at least 2 times as many people up here as there was at the previous intersection. There were hundreds of people involved in this on the ground from leftist groups. Now, we know that Black Lives Matter had people there. Hamas supporters were there. Because it's in the Twin Cities metro area, I guarantee you're going to have communists there because, you know, evil white people and so forth. And I swear there are people in there that are Black Bloc Antifa also, going by the uniform that they wore and the general look at them. So we had our little mix of violent extremists. So we had a sedan come up, and he was just trying to go his way. He starts slowing down when he sees the group up here. At first, these guys are harassing the drivers up here. But when they seen the guy made it past the roadblock down here, they started swarming around the vehicles to get him. He stopped short of the intersection, and they surrounded him. Now, tactics that we've seen employed in this. The protesters were employing a drone for surveillance overhead. One of the videos will show some of that drone footage. There's reports from Minneapolis that it sounds like these guys had a command and control element. They actually had someone telling them how to react, where to go, and coordinating stuff. Was this command and control element on site or off site? My guess is it was off site. It was noticed that these protesters did have communications. They were using radios. I don't know if they're Bail things, your FRS, GMRS, whatever, but they had radios along with cell phones. So the command and control was monitoring that drone, the situation in the area. And then when we seen this vehicle coming up, these guys were all concentrating on harassing vehicles up here. They get the signal, hey, stop this guy they come across, and they start swarming him. That allowed these vehicles that were backed up in here to start pulling off and heading out on the side streets, getting the hell out of the area. They started attacking that vehicle. They were kicking it, hitting it with their signs. You know, they were wailing on it pretty decent. Luckily, there were no weapons out in the open. But he gets up in here, he gets swarmed. At that point, you look farther in the video, you see off on blocking this lane over here, farther back at the previous intersection, there was a full-size pickup truck with a large ATV trailer behind it. So he's up here, he gets swarmed. All of a sudden, we get an ATV coming down from this way, 2 ATVs coming up from this way, and a dirt bike to support. And they try cutting him off from the back. My feelings are, or my assessment is, those vehicles came out of this trailer back here at the previous intersection. This guy up here, he knows he's screwed. Okay, they are threatening him and all kinds of stuff. You even hear it some in the videos. So what this guy does, when he starts getting an opening, he says, screw this. Does a U-turn essentially across the median and stuff. Comes this other way, and he just guns it out of there, going right past that pickup truck with the trailer. And then one of the protesters back here, he's videotaping it, saying, hey, we got to find out who this guy is. We got to confront him. You know, he tried killing us by running us over. Well, you idiots were the ones standing in front of the vehicle. You were attacking the vehicle. You were fucking threatening him. I think even if he did run over one of them over, I think he could say it was probably self-defense. But considering it's in very liberal Minneapolis, St. Paul, he'd still end up going to jail for the rest of his life for murder. It's fucked up in that city. So, breaking this down, what do we have? We have vehicles which are being used as a roadblock. We have people around these vehicles. Now in the future, what would happen if there were weapons with these people? And instead of coming forward to confront the vehicle, they just take positions behind the vehicles here and start pouring in fire. We got surveillance going overhead with a drone. There is a known command and control, which is most likely off-site, coordinating everything by use of cell phones and radios. My guess is radios are probably the primary because it's quicker. A cell phone is probably backup. And then to help cut off the target in your potential kill zone, we got high-speed vehicles back here to help cut them off, and these would be concealed off on the sides. ATVs, dirt bikes. You could have mobile teams on those so that even if your target somehow makes it around the ambush or through it, these guys are mobile. They can still chase them down and essentially do the 19th century, you know, train robber thing of the guy on back shooting at the vehicle, at the target to take them out. Something to think about, something to consider, something to be aware of. Is this a change in tactics from what we've seen in the past? It sounds like it. In the past, when they've done, in 2020, when they were blocking off intersections, they used people. So what did end up happening then? You had people that had pickup trucks and larger vehicles. They were just pushing their way through the protesters. So how did they fix that problem? They're now using vehicles as a roadblock. And if the person does somehow get past, now you got these chasers or pursuit vehicles that can chase them down. At a minimum, you know, they're getting license plates, which is what we're seeing in this situation, so that that person can be harassed later or targeted later. You know, we now have them employing surveillance drones to get a better eye in the sky from above. That is a change from 2020. In 2020, everything was handled with primarily runners on the ground and eyewitnesses. There were very, very few reports of drones, if any reports at all on it. So we are seeing an evolution in tactics by BLM, Antifa, and their tranny supporters and brother, sister, lover groups. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.